Well, welcome back to another Dynodaze video. As you can see, an Ep3 Civic on the dyno, one that we've tuned before. Last time we suggested it needed a better manifold it has had. It's had a solid fab manifold this morning, and now it's time to just tune to make the best of those performance mods. So here we go. Talk to me.
Talk to me?
Talk to me.
Oh, God.
We've seen this car before.
We have seen it before.
I've said that a few times recently. Yeah, we've seen this car before in various stages, in fact. And the last time it came here, it had cams and all sorts of things.
Yeah, inlet manifold, throttle body, cams.
And we weren't particularly overly thrilled with the end result.
No, the end result, but I'm not convinced that this gearbox hasn't had some, I'm going to use the word, tampering's perhaps not the right word, but I think it's had some different gears changed, because you do a pull in sixth and it just takes forever. It goes to the moon. Like, it's had the sixth gear changed, and I'm wondering if it's had the fifth gear changed. So it's had so it's got better acceleration up to fifth, and then you've got a sixth for like a really good cruise gear, because it doesn't feel like a normal EP3 to me, if you understand what I mean. So I'm wondering if it's had a slightly different fifth gear, which is then actually sort of almost giving us that sense of detuning, if you understand what I mean, because obviously it's only the relation between engine, gearbox and the dyno, so it sees that there, and you do a pull in say in six, which sometimes if you've got a shorter final drive, you can sort of do a pull in six, and that sort of recuperates some of what you've lost. But you could really do with a fifth and a half gear, which you don't have.
Yeah.
So you can sometimes basically do a pull in fifth, a pull in sixth, and then take the average of the two as in the middle ground, and then that's roughly where you are, and that's fine. But in this particular instance, you do a pull in six, and it's so long in six, it's like the speedo's gone off the scale and it's still going round, which to me it seems like it's got a longer six in it for sure.
Some modification.
Yeah, something going on there. I don't know exactly what. So I think that's resulted in us getting what I would call a lower figure, although I don't think there's anything wrong with it, if you understand what I mean.
And today we've replaced the Japspeed manifold for quite a girthy solid fab
Yeah, a much better manifold, but obviously the cost is much better, so it's much larger. So, whilst you say like the Japspeed manifold is a good manifold, value for money, it's a good manifold. Obviously, if you want to spend double that manifold,
you get a solid fab.
Then you get a solid fab one. So
with a V band on the end of it.
Yeah, so that has to be modified to fit the Tegiwa 70mm, because the Tegiwa 70mm has the 3-bolt flange. It's designed to fit to the original manifold.
We actually think today that we might have reached the limit of the Tegiwa 70mm.
Yeah, we may have reached the flow limit of, like you say, the Tegiwa 70mm, because 2.5 breaches quite quickly, don't it?
Yeah.
And then we've sort of gone up to the obviously Tegiwa 70mm is 2.75
because we've got throttle body, big induction kit, Skunk2
Inlet Manifold,
Pro Ultra Series Inlet Manifold.
We've got Skunk2 dropping cams.
Yeah, so we've got cams in this car.
Yeah, so we've got a lot going on.
And that's so that solid fab manifold is, yes, that's exactly what you would choose in this scenario.
And it has made power. Where we had a lull in the mid-range, it has smoothed that out, and we have made peak power. So there are gains to be had, or there certainly is gains to be had from it. It's definitely smoothed the graph out.
But normally at this stage, you've already got your 3-inch exhaust system.
Yeah, most people, if they're definitely going cams, have already got 3-inch exhaust.
We've always got 3-inch exhaust systems in stock if anybody needs, and they're available on the website.
Yeah, I think maybe if the customer is, I don't know whether he'd be
seeking
disappointed,
power,
but if he's seeking more power at this point,
that would be the advice.
Yeah, my advice would be go to a full 3-inch system and then see if there's any more power to be unlocked.
Yeah, because you need everyone needs 3 inches.
Of course you do.
One in, one out. Yeah. That's a joke from last video.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah.
But yeah, so we made a little bit of power in the mid-range, a little bit of peak power, like 5 brake horsepower up overall, which isn't so bad.
No, it ain't to be sniffed at. I mean, when you're talking about NA tuning and you're just changing a manifold, if you're making 5 brake and say 10 brake in the mid-range, well, that's as good as that gets.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you're not going to make 40 brake horsepower or whatever. You know what I mean?
You can't put an extra 3 psi down it.
No. We're scratting now after the last 5 or 10 brake horsepower from this car, and that's where we are. So it's, you know, if the exhaust unlocked another 5 and then the exhaust of the manifold had gained you 10 or 15, well, then that would be a good mod in my opinion.
Well, let's have a look at the graph.
Let's have a look at the graph.
Let's do that. So as we always say, red line is as you came in, blue line is as you leaves. That's your mid-range next to that arrow that we've gained. A little bit of peak as well. And we finish on, let me scroll down a little bit, hang on. We finish on 242, which is 190 at the wheels. So thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, guys. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. And we shall see you on the next one, won't we, Richard?
Indeed.
That's nice.
I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast.